Welcome back. Thanks again for joining us. It's fast approaching 8:45, just enough time for us to recap the story concerning Lesotho. The focus there will be on the reopening of Parliament. It's part of a roadmap that's been brokered by SADC to end ongoing political tensions in that particular mountainous kingdom. For more on today's proceedings, we're going to cross live to Maseru, where SABC's contributing editor Vuyo Mvoko is. Vuyo, a very good morning to you. Thanks again for joining us. A little bit earlier, we left off on a bit of a cliffhanger, where I asked you whether or not the opening of Parliament today signals the end to the turmoil or whether it's an uneasy calm there.
I think you've said it quite rightly. It's an uneasy calm. From the conversations I had yesterday with some of the leaders of the various political parties, one got a sense that no one was entirely happy with what was going on. However, they are making a firm commitment to actually see this process through. Now, there's a whole range of reasons as to why these leaders are behaving the way they do. Some blame the Prime Minister for being a law unto himself, shutting down Parliament, and so on. But they are all committing. All the parties across the board are actually committing to this process. But also, they are under very serious pressure from SADC, but also from South Africa specifically. Because remember, if status quo continues, if democracy does not flourish in Lesotho, then we as South Africa are going to have problems. We have billions of cubic meters of water going to our agricultural heartland, which is the Free State. You have Gauteng depending very heavily on Lesotho water. So we do have vested interest, as a matter of fact. And if there's a law of the jungle, because that's what happens when democracy isn't actually being encouraged, when democracy is not working. You have a law of the jungle, so it means that our investments here in Lesotho, if you go around here, South African companies do. Yes, it's a small country, it is a poor country, but there is still business for a whole range of South African companies. So South Africa has a very direct stake in ensuring that this process does in fact work. Ayanda?
We're seeing some visuals now of inside what we assume is the Parliament in Maseru there. Just talk to us about what's happening there on the ground at the moment. Have the officials and various interested parties started arriving?
Well, the members of Parliament have started arriving. Security is very tight, but all the parties, as I indicated earlier, are on board, so all their members will be coming here. But do remember, as I said to you earlier, that there is that bit of a weird arrangement where the party with the highest number, that polled the highest number of votes in 2012, is not part of the coalition. So all those tensions continue to bubble, and I don't think we're going to see that today, primarily because the king is the person who is going to be addressing the Parliament, and I think he's going to speak a lot about the party's commitment to the roadmap that was brokered on behalf of SADC by our Deputy President, Cyril Ramaphosa. So you're not going to see really the sort of bubbling tensions that are bubbling under. But if I may tell you, they are real. They continue to be there. In other words, you have every person, every leader that we spoke to yesterday and that my colleague spoke to the days before do have issues, but they are confident that if primarily the party led by the Prime Minister, Mr. Thabane, if they get their cooperation, they are positive that the roadmap is indeed going to yield the kind of result that everyone is looking forward to. Among the things that they need to discuss is their constitution, but also what happens, for example, as is the case now, where a coalition of smaller parties end up being the government because they feel that there are a lot of holes that need to be plugged. And that is what is going to happen over the next couple of months before Parliament goes into recess in preparation for that February election. Ayanda?
Vuyo Mvoko, thank you very much for that insight. We'll have to leave it there. SABC contributing editor Vuyo Mvoko coming to us live from Maseru in Lesotho, where the Parliament there will be opened today. We'll have to leave it there for now. A quick ad break. More